A mom and pop store in San Fernando takes on the big guys. Former President George W. Bush touches on Trump's recent actions. And the 89th Annual Academy Awards were full of surprises.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Alex Razzo.
And I'm Annie Stonick.
Gavin Newsom is urging President Trump to stay away from undoing California's recreational marijuana laws. Newsom wrote a letter to Trump after the White House hinted it may target recreational marijuana use even in states that legalized it. Press Secretary Sean Spicer says he believes states will see greater enforcement on recreational marijuana. Newsom advises Trump and his administration to work in partnership with California and the other states that have legalized the recreational use of marijuana.
Laziness can play an important role in the diet of a college student. Many get so lazy and choose to buy fast food rather than making homemade meals. Reporter Michael Ramirez has the story.
Cooking is a problem for many college students, but not for CSUN student Hugo Brambilla. The 20-year-old computer information technology major learned to cook in high school. He says eating out is costly.
You end up spending a lot of money. Like if you buy lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you buy it, like a McDonald's or anything like that. Not necessarily McDonald's, but anywhere else. It adds up pretty quickly. You could be spending almost $30, more than $30 a day, which ends up adding up quite a bit throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year. It adds up to quite a bit of money.
CSUN student Amanda Valadez also likes to cook, like this Mexican dish called cóctel de camarón. She thinks she knows why most college students don't cook.
I think it has to do a lot with laziness, because I don't think you need your parents to teach you how to learn how to cook, because you could go on like a lot of websites, you could go on YouTube, like you could type in whatever it is that you want to learn how to make, like you could type in like how to make tacos and they're going to show you step by step of the whole process.
I appreciate it, man.
But most college students we talk to prefer fast food to cooking themselves.
Honestly, since I'm always on the go and I'm never home, and I don't have time in between classes, fast food is the most convenient way for me.
I don't consider myself lazy, but thanks to my busy work schedule, Monday through Friday, I tend to eat out a lot. And because of that, I just don't have enough time to cook.
One of the reasons why I do eat fast food is because it's the convenience. I'm always at school, either by working or doing projects or homework or whatever, and so I'm not at home all the time.
I prefer cooking because I know how to cook, so I'd rather cook than go eat fast food. And then if I go eat fast food, I could gain weight, and I don't want to do that. So I'd just rather cook for myself.
Hugo Brambilla says cooking not only saves you money, but it's fun and can lead you to a lifetime of experimentation.
My mom particularly did teach me how to cook. There's just the basics, rice, chicken, meat, beans, and whatnot. Just the basics of how to know how to cook, and then kind of just experiment here and there.
Most college students find fast food much quicker to eat. In Northridge, Michael Ramirez, Valley View News.
They call it JADE for Joint Advocates on Disordered Eating. CSUN students got a chance last month to learn more about it at a resource fair. Valley View News' Yael Allen shows us.
CSUN's JADE program hosted National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. The fair dealt with some of the most common eating disorders college students deal with, including anorexia nervosa, bulimia, and binge eating. Studies show that nearly 20% of college students say they have or have previously had an eating disorder. One JADE volunteer says she suffered from an eating disorder herself.
I suffered from purging disorders, and it was like a constant battle that I had for many years. And going through that, not only did it help me want to help out other people, I actually became a psychology major, and I'm majoring to specialize in helping people who suffer from eating disorders, anorexia nervosa, bulimia, binge, purge, all of that.
The purpose of the fair is to help students feel good about themselves, says CSUN Peer Program Specialist Samir Hamawi.
We want to have that conversation here at CSUN and let students know that it's something that we see, something that we're aware of, that even students can develop, and we really want to promote body acceptance regardless of size, shape, color.
One workshop focused specifically on Black female beauty and binging. The session was led by CSUN psychologist Paulette Teresa.
When we're speaking specifically about Black women, the literature tells us that Black women today in the United States are the #1 binge eaters. And that being the case, I think it's important for our young ladies and everyone else to understand of the different ways in which they are impacted that leads to binge eating and other disorders.
The fair had a variety of activities, giveaways, and wellness workshops. More than 14 programs were represented, including CSUN Helpline and the Oasis Wellness Center. Students who visited 10 tables or more could pick up a bag of free organic groceries and even spend a little time with puppies brought out for puppy therapy. Hamawi says he hopes the fair will help students become more aware of the support services available to them and what works and doesn't work when it comes to dieting.
We really want to shift the culture of what the body ideal is and really preach self-acceptance and sort of be anti-diet and kind of promote the message that diets don't work, and it really just kind of perpetuates a cycle of shame and not being able to kind of achieve that as a lifestyle choice. So we really want people to become more mindful of the relationship they have with food.
The National Eating Disorders Association says the goal of the Awareness Week is to shine the spotlight on eating disorders and put life-saving resources into the hands of those in need. This is Yael Allen in Northridge for Valley View News.
Former President George W. Bush weighed in on President Trump's first month in office. Bush was interviewed on NBC's Today Show. He commented on President Trump's attack on the media, describing the free press as indispensable to democracy.
It's important for the media to call to account people who abuse their power, whether it be here or elsewhere. One of the things I spent a lot of time doing was trying to convince a person like Vladimir Putin, for example, to accept the notion of an independent press.
Bush also said he prefers a more welcoming immigration policy than Trump has embraced, but one that upholds the law. Bush also stayed away from critiquing presidents after him, but was willing to criticize the sitting president of his own party.
Protests against President Trump's policies continue across Southern California. Valley View News reporter Susanna Guzman shows us the Free the People immigration march last month.
Thousands marched through the streets of downtown Los Angeles to protest President Donald Trump's immigration policies. A truck playing music led the march from Pershing Square to City Hall. Protesters held a variety of signs. The crowd was diverse and also ranged in age. Many marched in support of immigrant families, including Army veteran Bridget Granados.
We're all a part of America. When I served this country, I served because, my family was welcomed here as immigrants, and I decided to serve a country that I was proud of, and I believe that we need to continue fighting for these rights.
The route of the march had to be changed once Trump supporters showed up encouraging Trump's plan to build the wall. One Trump supporter, Lena Runfola, says that she's not against immigrants, only those who come to the country illegally.
We don't hate the immigrant. We welcome immigrants. I married a first-generation immigrant. It's not the immigration, it's the illegalness.
Police separated the two sides with yellow tape after several arguments broke out.
I'm not even an immigrant.
After the march, protesters gathered at City Hall to listen to speakers upset by Trump's executive orders. The protest and rally were held in response to immigration enforcement raids and in support of Los Angeles as a sanctuary city. In downtown Los Angeles, Susanna Guzman, Valley View News.
Members of the Council on American Islamic Relations spoke at CSUN on Monday about President Trump's proposed travel ban on certain nations. Valley View's Alfredo Perez has more.
Know Your Rights workshops on campuses where we see a lot of...
The speakers addressed the current situation with Trump's executive order, which has been held up by the courts. They also provided information on how to deal with a proposed ban.
This whole event today is kind of addressing what we've seen, what's been done by the Trump administration, publishing these executive orders, which took a direct stance on marginalizing the Muslim community, the immigrant communities, and banning people from 7 Muslim-majority nations.
The program was launched.
Muslim speakers answered questions on the executive orders. Nizarine Elamin Abdelrahman was a detainee at JFK when Trump's executive order was enforced. She says it had tremendous impact on her.
The main way that it's changed my life is that I'm now separated from my family. My parents are in Sudan, and I was hoping to bring them to the United States, and I'm probably not going to be able to do that, and they're elderly.
The Islamic group will continue to bring its message to different communities. In Northridge, for Valley View News, I'm Alfredo Perez.
Top administration officials have met to discuss the way forward in the fight against ISIS. President Trump has called for a new blueprint to defeat ISIS in Syria and Iraq. U.S. officials say a new document details possible military, diplomatic, and financial measures to increase U.S. engagement in the campaign. The possibility of sending conventional ground combat forces into northern Syria for the first time could be among the first options presented.
President Trump has proposed a 9% increase in military spending. Even as major U.S. wars wind down, Trump will ask Congress to boost Pentagon spending to $54 billion.
This budget will be a public safety and national security budget, very much based on those two, with plenty of other things, but very strong. And it will include a historic increase in defense spending.
The increase is part of a budget proposal, but Congress must approve. Officials familiar with the proposal say the increase will be offset by cutting funding from the State Department, Environmental Protection Agency, and other non-defense programs.
Former military intelligence officer Philip Bilden has withdrawn from consideration as Secretary of the Navy. He says he supports Trump's agenda, but will not be able to satisfy the requirements due to financial matters. Bilden was nominated for the position back in January. Trump says Bilden was the right choice to modernize the U.S. fleet. A replacement candidate has not been named.
Another wave of bomb threats were reported on Monday at Jewish community centers and schools across the country. Community centers in Virginia, Maryland, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and New York have all been targeted. Between 75 and 100 tombstones were damaged Saturday night in a cemetery in Philadelphia. Rewards totaling $10,000 have been offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible. Nearly 70 incidents targeted 54 community centers. Vice President Mike Pence spoke about the attacks.
Condemn these vile acts of vandalism and those who perpetrated them in the strongest possible terms. Hatred and anti-Semitism have no place in America.
According to the Jewish Community Centers Association, 26 states and one Canadian province received nearly 60 bomb threats during January.
The body of a missing 14-year-old San Fernando teenage boy has been found in the LA River. Elias Rodriguez's body was discovered from the river in the Los Feliz area. Authorities say an unknown person reported seeing the body. Mayor Eric Garcetti released a statement saying, "Words cannot capture the agony that Elias's family has felt since his disappearance." Elias was reported missing last month after failing to return home after school. When we come back, we'll look into the cleanup of the city's dam.
We'll also be recapping last week's Oscars.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
California's Department of Water Resources says it will start reducing outflow from the Oroville Dam. The halt will allow workers to clear concrete and debris from a pool at the bottom of the spillway. This will protect an underground hydroelectric plant and allow it to resume operation. Earlier this month, a chunk of concrete tore out the main spillway, forcing managers to use the emergency spillway. The 200-foot hole flooded nearby areas in Northern California and forced nearly 200,000 people to evacuate.
California Republicans were in a good mood during their annual convention last weekend. Part of the celebration included their new headquarters that overlooks the Capitol. The reality is the state GOP faces an uphill climb in trying to regain power from the Democratic Party. It has been more than a decade since a Republican has been elected to a statewide office, and Democrats hold overwhelming majorities in the state Senate and Assembly. Democrats also hold both Senate seats.
A group of Trump supporters rallied in Hollywood last week in response to the Academy Awards. The group protested just outside the metro station on the corner of Hollywood and Vine. Over a dozen protesters carried signs, Trump banners, and American flags, and chanted things like "Hollywood, stop the hate." A group called the San Fernando Valley for Trump celebration held the demonstration. Supporters say they believe Hollywood elites are trying to divide America.
Here with our weekly entertainment news, here's Paulina Negretti.
Thanks, Alex. The 89th Oscars hosted by Jimmy Kimmel had some good moments and some bad. Kimmel recycled many of his segments from his late-night talk show and made jokes about celebrities. The biggest mix-up was the night when Warren Beatty was given the wrong envelope for Best Picture. He announced La La Land as the big winner and later gave it to Moonlight. The Academy released an apology for the error. Moonlight was nominated for many awards, and Mahershala Ali won Best Supporting Actor. Ali had a standing ovation and became the first Muslim actor to win an award.
It's not about you. It's about these characters. You're a servant. You're in service to these stories and these characters, and I'm so blessed to have had an opportunity.
Iranian director Asghar Farhadi won his second Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film for The Salesman, but Farhadi did not attend the award ceremony out of respect for his country. The director says he boycotted the award show in protest of the Muslim travel ban. Many celebrities wore a blue American Civil Liberties Union ribbon on the red carpet to defend and protest individual rights. In 2012, Farhadi also made a political statement at the Oscars and dedicated his awards to Iranians. Bill Paxton has died due to surgery complications. The 61-year-old actor was known for the movie Twister and Titanic. Paxton was also a director of The Greatest Game Ever Played and Frailty. Many celebrities tweeted about Paxton after the news of his death. Paxton started working in the film industry at 18 and was an actor in 93 credits. A bachelor, an NFL player, and Charo walk into a ballroom. That can only mean a new season of Dancing with the Stars is approaching. Nick Viall from ABC's The Bachelor, former Giants running back Rashad Jennings, and the performer Charo, to name a few, are all set to compete. Last season's winner was 16-year-old Olympic gymnast Lori Hernandez. Season 24 will premiere on ABC at the end of the month. Bob Harper, host of the NBC's Biggest Loser, is recovering from a heart attack. The fitness guru was working out at a New York City gym when he collapsed. A doctor was at the gym, was able to administrate CPR and keep Harper alive. Harper spent a total of 8 days in the hospital. Harper, who is in good health, says it did not come as a surprise. His mother passed away from a heart attack, and he says it's all genetic. Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma are back at it again. The two hip-hop stars are competing to be the queen of rap. Nicki Minaj became an international star and stole Remy's title when Remy went to jail for attempted murder. In 2016, Nicki Minaj won Best Female Hip-Hop Artist at the BET Awards, and Remy Ma took to Twitter to react. While both of them have written songs about each other, Nicki has only recently replied to the Twitter beef. Hip-hop fans are waiting to see who wins this fight. That's all for entertainment. Now back to you.
After the break, CSUN's baseball team gets ready for the new season.
And we'll see how one family fulfilled their American dream.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for?
Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning?
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me, you're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Dad's home!
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's a growing concern over airline passengers getting around regulations to fly with their pets for free. Airline employees say they're seeing a wide variety of animals with the service designation. For example, a Sherman Oaks psychotherapist issued an emotional support animal designation to a patient who filled out an online survey. Experts say diagnoses should only be issued when the therapist has met in person with the patient. The state agency that licensed therapists has not confirmed if the counselor is now under investigation.
Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao says self-driving cars could drastically improve safety. Chao says the Trump administration is evaluating current guidelines that ask automakers to submit details of self-driving vehicle systems in a 15-point safety test. The Trump administration says it wants to ensure self-driving cars are a catalyst for safety and efficient technology. Companies like General Motors, Ford, Uber, and Tesla are looking into automated vehicle technologies.
A San Diego company may have an autonomous drone that could revolutionize the future of warfare. Among new developments in drone technology is a program that could help with facial recognition. The Pentagon is investing $3 billion in a drone being developed by Shield AI. It has the appearance of an average drone, but could help special operations forces map out buildings in urban war zones. The drone is equipped with cameras that have facial recognition programs to determine whether there is a civilian or a terrorist inside of a building.
Now let's go to Jordan Williams with sports news.
Thanks, Annie. CSUN softball won 4 of its 5 in the Libby Mason Classic last weekend in Stockton. In the first game, Sacramento State beat them 4-2. Against Seattle, CSUN had a 3-run home run that gave them a 5-2 win. The following day, they won 4-2 against Sacramento and 2-0 against Pacific. Matadors ended the tournament playing Seattle again, taking the game 3-0 with 2 home runs. Hopes are high for CSUN baseball as the new season gets underway. Valley View's Eric Sklar goes in-depth with head coach Greg Moore about his unique approach to the game.
CSUN's head baseball coach, Greg Moore, best describes his coaching style as a teaching-first approach.
That's my job, that's my goal. If I'm a good teacher, then I have the impact I want to have. I don't look at it in terms of just telling these guys what to think. I want to teach them how and why to think.
Coach Moore has developed multiple dimensions to his coaching philosophy. He came up with the idea for what is now known as the Diamond University program while studying at the University of San Francisco.
My master's thesis in 2001 was Diamond University. It was a 9-inning course, and I was 21 years old trying to figure out how to work a couple things together.
One of Coach Moore's main focuses in the program is to correlate lessons learned on the field with experiences off the field. For instance, his team will look at a movie, an article, and a book, all revolving around the same theme.
We're borrowing from all 3 of those to show our players, hey, this is the same idea that you're focusing on the field, but here it shows up in different aspects of life, whether it's business, education, different forms.
He played collegiately for 2 years at Long Beach City College and then transferred to USF where he spent 2 seasons. After finishing his playing career, he transitioned into a volunteer assistant coach for USF and moved up the ranks as time went on, eventually becoming their head coach.
At one point or another, I realized I was going to either be a police officer or a coach, and I stayed there at University of San Francisco and began coaching there in 2001.
Since Moore has come to CSUN, 6 of his former Matadors have been drafted in the MLB first-year player draft. In addition to helping his own players get to the next level, Coach Moore has been helping players from around the country hone their skills. For the past 3 years, Coach Moore has been on the Team USA U18 coaching staff.
It's an honor, first of all. It's beautiful. You see these young guys come in, they've been told they're the best in the country. They've been told this since they were probably 10, 12 years old, but then they put the country's colors on and USA on their chest, and you see the egos melt away. They see that there are things in life that are bigger than them.
Coach Moore says that the most rewarding part of being a coach is seeing growth in his players, not only as baseball players, but as men and members of the community. The Matadors are looking to build off the success they saw last year when they won 33 games for the second year in a row. In Northridge, I'm Eric Sklar for Valley View News.
21-year-old Cody Bellinger hit an out-of-the-park home run last weekend to give the Dodgers a win over the Brewers in spring training. Bellinger is the number 12 prospect in all of baseball and is the top first baseman right now. He is playing in Class A with Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. He is likely to begin this season with Triple-A Oklahoma City. Bellinger is getting first base action in spring training while Adrian Gonzalez is taking care of his right elbow. New San Francisco 49ers general manager John Lynch is open to discussing a trade for the second overall pick in this upcoming draft. The 49ers could potentially receive a proven talent to help kickstart the rebuilding process in return for the draft pick, and he believes some teams will try to move up in the draft. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
What began as an idea became a dream come true for a Central American family. Valley View News reporter Cynthia Marin has more on the story.
The creamy waterfall coming out of this machine is not taffy, but lucuma ice cream. Lucuma is one of the many exotic fruits used in the wide variety of flavors you will find at Helados Pops. Helados Pops is a small family-owned business located in San Fernando, serving customers fresh, handmade natural desserts. Owner Oscar Perez, also known as Pops, says his business started in 1996, but not in San Fernando.
Se originó en Los Ángeles, California.
It originated in Santa Monica, Los Angeles, and Belmont. That's where Pops was created. We were there for 10 years.
Unos 10 años ahí.
But that's when the economy turned sour and Pops closed down.
Pero con la visión
But with the vision of my daughter and son-in-law, we made the effort to do it again.
Se hizo el esfuerzo de,
and that's how Pops came to San Fernando. That was in 2015. The business thrived, but then competition moved in. First, Baskin-Robbins, and then La Michoacana opened down the street.
They're trying to maximize profit, cut back, cut corners, and...
Martin Ken is Helado's son-in-law and the co-owner of Pops. He says Pops took on the big guys.
Like our ice cream doesn't have any recipes in it. The reason why is because he makes Oscar, my father-in-law, makes the ice cream out of like his memory, out of his mind, and it's an interpretation and a flavor of fruit he ate in his childhood, and he wants to recreate it. He's recreating memories.
They used innovative flavors like almond avocado ice cream and sorbets ranging in flavors from pineapple, mango, and watermelon. And no matter what flavor you choose, any of these cool treats can be enjoyed in a handmade waffle cone or in a milkshake. And it worked. Loyal customers help Pops thrive. Helados Pops seems to be withering off the storm with their loyal customer base. And according to Pops himself, the plan is to open up future stores and eventually sell their products. In San Fernando, I'm Cynthia Marin with Valley View News.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Alex Razzo.
And I'm Annie Stonick.